So yes, Star Combo Pharma Limited is currently listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. We've been listed since 2018. Now, myself, Sue, I know my surname is Zhang, but I promise you I'm not related to Tony in any way or form, okay? I'm a pharmacist by background, so traditionally working in retail pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, industrial pharmacy, before then joining into Star Combo Pharma Limited as part of the foundation group. The company was established back in 2014 from a very, very small trade out of Rydermere in Sydney. And then stemming from then, we've ridden off the back of a global vitamin market growth, and we've ride the wave of the boom. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the company profile now has expanded from a small distribution company that used to trade out of a 100 square meter warehouse now to a manufacturer to consumer sort of company metrics. So we've got the manufacturing arm, particularly with a site based in Smithfield in Sydney. We've also got our own branded product in which we distribute. Plus, we've got a retail arm that sells directly to the consumer. So that allows us to complete the loop from manufacturing to consumer with full traceability around the products that we sell and make. Next slide, please. So there's a couple of pointers in relation to the company about what we are able to do. So first of all, that with our recent growth, we are now over 30,000 square meters spanning in Sydney, Australia. We're a full licensed manufacturing scope by the Therapeutic Goods Administration. And as we know that the Australian supplement space is a very well-regulated space. So the stringency around our particular site is that we do have the Therapeutic Goods Administration license with a full scope of manufacturing for multiple dosage forms. Now, on top of that, we've also got the pest supplement under the APVMA, plus the DWAR and FSANZ food standard audits for the pasteurized dairy products, which allow us to do functional milk powders. Next slide, please. Now, in relation to the company growth, we've got 6 key pillars in which we focus on. So the first one is really our dedicated investment in terms of research and development. At the moment, we've got a very strong internal capability, as well as liaison with external parties, such as your CSIRO universities across the domestic market in Australia. Now, we continue to invest in the upgrade of the facility, and I will briefly touch on that in terms of one of the key business pillars that we have recently grown upon in the gummy sector. Now, we also aim to broaden our service offerings by maintaining different dosage forms, and then also adding onto our value offer. We sustain price competitiveness by the economy of scale. So this is why, the build of our facility has gone from strength to strength. And now we are at 30,000 square meters. We continue to add into our internal team and dedicate the training and upskilling of our current staff. And also we expand the business both organically and via synergistic acquisitions. It's something that we will also be open to, plus any kind of cooperations in the forms of synergistic setup. We are very open to that kind of discussion. So I would also welcome that discussion and look forward to that post our meeting today. Next slide, please. So very, very currently, one of the key things we have done to deliver the next step of the business growth is that we have been focusing on the site to grow gummies production line. In terms of the gummy production line with the recent upgrade, it allows us to churn out a maximum daily capacity of 3 million gummies. Now, with the current setup in place with the company, the trading result on April with unaudited results is that we've been able to experience a 20% year-on-year growth. So that's been a phenomenal result based on FY23 and year to date, well, up to April this year. And we're continually adding into our capabilities and offerings. Next slide, please. Now, in relation to the gummies line, what is so special about this particular category is that the formulation of it is extremely difficult compared to some of the other dosage forms. So in order for us to be able to go to this commercialized to market, it's been a very, very long-winded process to be able to get here. Now, we've churned out over hundreds of desktop samples to be able to be in the place today, to be able to do commercialized large scale. In fact, we are one of the first contract manufacturers in Australia to obtain a TGA license to be able to successfully commercialize gummies lines. Now, the difference between these dosage forms and any of the others in relation to, the tablets or hard gel capsules is obviously the great taste profile and the willingness to take more than one at a time. Now, if we're in the fast-moving consumer care category, the patient's experience or the consumer experience is incredibly important. So as you can understand, if you chew a tablet that doesn't taste so good versus something that has a great taste profile, it's a winner right there, right? And, you want them taking 10 and not 1. And this is what it's able to deliver. Next slide, please. Just to give a little bit of a market landscape. Now, the global vitamin industry sector, and this is the figures that I have just checked about half an hour ago, is that it sits at 46 billion. So this is the global vitamin market. And its growth rate, compound annual growth rate, is about 4.6%. However, if we're looking at the gummy supplement market, the overall market size at the moment is only 5.5 billion. However, we're expecting a compound annual growth rate of 9.17. So really what we're trying to fulfill is that increased demand and without the market to be able to supply that. Now, right now, our site is set up ready to go, and we've already started to liaise with a lot of the multinational players, right? And we're talking about global conglomerates. Now, some of their names I was actually able to see in a previous slide that was kindly given by the Beijing counterpart. So definitely, I think this adds value into a very, very different business development and growth for the company. Next slide, please. Now, in relation to the gummies, I'm not going to touch further on, in terms of the specialization and how unique profile it is, but I just want to add into the fact that, it is a very, very great product. And the most important thing is that not only are we able to do vitamin gummies, we're also able to add into functional gummies such as your sleep, your immune, and we're able to cater to the development and the NPD process, so the new product development process for new dosage form to come.